Stop everything you're doing right now. This is literally going to be the most important video that you watch for the next 2 months. I am 100% serious right now. What we're seeing print right now on the weekly chart for the total ES chart, which represents the total crypto market cap excluding stablecoins, this yellow flag right here is the same one that we saw back over here just before a blow-off top move in April 2021. Just like we saw back over here in January 2018. Now, there are some of these flags back over here on this parabola, and I'm going to explain why now this flag is not anything like these ones. And this flag that we're looking at right now is really similar to this and this. I am not in any way, shape, or form trying to freak anyone out. If anything, this is actually some good news for a lot of you that have been waiting for an explosive move for altcoins. But there's an order that has to happen. And we still have 2.5 days or so until we get confirmation that this flag stays. I want to give you the good news first, but then the reality check. And all that in this video here on Coin Bureau Trading. What's up? My name is Aaron Dishner from The Better Traders. And you're watching Coin Bureau Trading. We are literally at 99,997 subscribers as of the filming in this video. You are going to be lucky 100,000. Help us grow this channel by sharing these videos, liking the videos, of course, subscribing as well. Now, again, I am not big into fear porn. I understand that it's like, yeah, a thumbnail like this, a title like this is pretty shocking. It should be. I believe a lot of people are being misled into thinking several narratives that really aren't true because multiple metrics, and it's not just this proprietary indicator that's flashing this bearish signal. A lot of other indicators are flashing bearish signs as well. I know that seasonality matters a lot. Hey, I'm the guy who's saying October is going to be green, which I believe it is. Even November should be green. But I'm also looking at the signs. I'm looking at every logical excuse for this not to be true right now. And what I'm seeing is not comforting. Now, let's do the bullish outcome first. Why is this such a big deal? Well, first, let me explain what we're looking at. This is called TBT Divergence. TBT stands for The Better Traders. And what we're looking at is a really cool indicator that does one thing really well. It identifies basically extreme divergence, either bullish or in this case, bearish. This yellow flag right here essentially is called a cluster. And a cluster is determined when a lot of these red triangles, or if they're bullish, like back over here, green triangles are close together. If a certain amount of these print, and as of the settings, within 7 bars, then it's going to turn the third and subsequent signals yellow. And it's going to make it a little bit bigger. Why? Because these clusters are a huge signal, not just for the weekly time frame, but for the daily, for the 4-hour, for the hourly. But understand that the slower or the longer the time frame, the bigger the signal is. Let's just think about it this way. Looking at this, and again, we still have 2 days and 19 hours as of the filming of this video until we get confirmation. If we get this printed, you have to admit that it's pretty crazy. The last time we got one of these printed was back over here in April 2021, and another one over here in May 2021. Now I know what you're thinking. Aaron, how is this possible? Like, this wasn't the top for crypto at all. We topped out in November. Yeah, I know. Trust me. But every other indicator, whether it's the Puell multiple, MVRVZ score, tons of indicators actually peak out here in March and April. Do the research. It's true. If we go back over here, we have another TBT Bearish Divergence cluster on the weekly. So what's the good news about this? Well, the good news is that I still believe that we're going to get a really nice push to the upside, specifically for Bitcoin first, then others, or rather alts, will follow. I still believe that BTC is on target to push up, yes, and we do have one of these, to push up here to about $150,000 by the middle of November. Now, how can I be so bullish, you're probably wondering, while we're looking at something so bearish? This is why. If you've ever used RSI, and this indicator is not just looking at RSI, it's using a lot of different inputs and it's using trigonometry to plot these levels. I am not kidding, it's insane. But for any of you that have spent time using RSI, Relative Strength Index is an excellent tool to help us do a couple of things. Obviously, to identify when a chart is overbought or when it's oversold. But it goes a little bit further than that. Namely, we can use RSI to figure out when we can see subsequent lower highs. For instance, we have a high here of 93.59 back in March 2024. The next high we have is still pretty overbought at 88.86 in December 2024, but not as high as the previous one. This is what I'm talking about, subsequently lower highs. And we see this happening over and over and over. Now, this is not really such a bad thing, I guess, because what's happened since then is that the price of BTC at this time was $73,000. And of course, we know that Bitcoin is much higher than that price at that time. But now, this is where things get really interesting. Because when we see RSI, the Relative Strength Index, decreasing over time, but we see the price increasing over time, this is a bearish divergence. Vice versa, if we see RSI growing, having higher lows, and we see the price making lower highs, that would be a bullish divergence. The main thing you have to understand about this bearish divergence is that this has been happening for a long time. We are literally, ever since we peaked out, we've been doing this for 82 weeks. So this is why I am saying very emphatically, you don't have to panic at all right now, today. I believe that we are very much near the end of the bull market, but I don't believe it's going to happen as soon as you're up to this point in the video. I don't think it's going to be like that fast. What typically happens as well with RSI and price is that usually RSI will actually fall down and we'll see the price go up a little bit higher. If anything, I think Bitcoin will move up to our target of $139,000, where we're still looking pretty decent. We're in profit, kind of, sort of. It's been rough. It has not been a straight up and to the right move. But I do think we'll at least move up here to 139, if not maybe a wick up to 150, but that will be it. Trust me when I say, I know that many other talking heads, many other influencers are not talking about this being a possibility. In fact, so many people are saying that the 4-year cycle is dead, that there's no way Bitcoin could have another 70% drawdown. Like that thing is those are things of the past. We haven't seen any of these market top indicators flash at all. The last statement is true. And to be honest, this time around, I don't think we're going to see even half of those signals fire when we top out in a month. Something has shifted with a lot of these indicators that have worked really well in the past, but because Bitcoin has grown in its market cap and also reduced in its volatility, they're not giving us as much useful information anymore. At least that's what I think, and that's what I think is going to happen. If you are solely looking at CoinGlass and all these bull market top signals and you're waiting for all of them to flash green, all 30 of them to be green, be careful. No, I'm guilty. I made a video talking about this a while ago on the More Coin Bureau channel. I'm not expecting that this time around. The main thing I do not want to freak you out about is that I don't think Bitcoin's going to be dumping right now today. And this is the good news. Trust me, this is the really good news. If we go back over here, this is the weekly chart for Bitcoin on Binance. We had a TBT Bearish Divergence in February. But look, even after this disastrous week of 21%, the price actually recovered and it moved up 37%. We got another one and the price actually moved up higher. We had 2 chances to get out after seeing our first TBT divergence. And of course, we got a cluster, and a cluster on Bitcoin is very, very telling sign. Yes, I know the price fell down 40%, 47 to be exact. Yes, I know that it recovered. I don't think this is going to be happening this time around. I think that we are going to just be done. I don't think we're going to get a double top this time around. So what is the real good news? I know you're like, I don't hear it, man. The good news is that I still believe and I expect Bitcoin to actually move up to about $150,000, but even like this target here. But understand, like, this is a very low target. It's only like an increase of 24%. It's not that difficult for Bitcoin to move up this high. I think the move will be quick. I think it might be a blow off top or maybe even a wick, and people are going to get really excited. They're going to get trapped into longs, and then Bitcoin will start to falter. It'll start to fall down. We'll see Bitcoin dominance fall down. We're going to see alts start to pump because they're looking at Bitcoin dominance falling, and everyone's going to be getting excited. And then by the time we get over here to January, things are going to change quickly. I understand that I am pretty much like the only guy saying this, which does not give me comfort. And I'm not trying to be a contrarian just to be a contrarian, just to go against the crowd. But I need to share some more information about the total ES chart. And yes, this signal is also showing on the total chart. But I need to help you understand a couple of other things first before you panic, before you freak out. Again, I still expect a couple more weeks where we should have some really nice green pushes to the top side. I still think that BTC is going to be going up higher. But I'm getting confirmation signals left, right, and center that we are very much near the end instead of this being near the beginning. Now, before I get into it, I want to draw your attention down below. If any of you are watching this channel and you are traders, like I'm a trader, there will be some incredible trades to be had, both to the upside and to the downside in the months to come. I fully believe that. And if anything, we've seen so much chop recently. It's been good in both directions. So that begs the question, what exchanges are you using? Well, thankfully, Coin Bureau has negotiated some insane deals for you for Femex, for BYDFi, and for 2bit, where you can trade and earn up to $30,000 on Femex. You can earn up to $10,100 here on BYDFi. And on 2bit, you can trade and earn up to $15,000. Now, the difference between 2bit and the others is that 2bit is a non-KYC requiring exchange, meaning that you don't have to share your identity with them, and you can still deposit or you can withdraw, I think, up to $50,000 a day, which is nuts. And there are other amazing bonuses that are available here with BYDFi and Femex. I'm actually working on something really cool with BYDFi. More on that later. And there are also way more deals that are available here on the Coin Bureau website. If you click on the deals button, the first thing to check out is the Coin Bureau Club. This is a private Discord server that has tons of information and alpha shared by Dan, my co-host, and Guy and Nick are also in that Discord server as well. There are lots of other exchanges and tools to sign up for, including a 10% off discount for our course, 15 Minutes to Financial Freedom at thebettertraders.com. So, I want to first help you understand why I think this is such a big deal. And I also want to go back a little bit and zoom out because, trust me, this is hard to reconcile. Seeing these TBT Bearish Divergence Clusters, these yellow flags here and here, when we obviously know Bitcoin moved up 6,000% after that one. And from this one, we saw Bitcoin move up another 500%. Why is this one right here so toppy? Okay. Oh, no, there it is. I was like, did it actually disappear? No, it didn't. It's still there. So what makes this one so important to me? And why is this not like these? For one, these previous ones that printed were triggered basically when Bitcoin was having a massive parabola. A parabola is basically a mega bull run, where we see charts move up hundreds, if not thousands of percent in an extremely short amount of time, over and over and over. So I'm not necessarily surprised that we're seeing lots of these TBT divergences here. Now, eventually, one of them was right. But there's a big difference between the rally that we saw in January 2016 to the top here in January 2018, a 13,500% rally. Huge. Now let's compare that to the most recent one that we had back over here. And we'll just start it from October. So October up here to May was a 675% rally. Notice that we don't have any of these TBT divergences on the way up. When we had these little pullbacks, now we have them. We have another pullback and another one. We get our clusters. There we go. So the reason why I'm looking at this way more seriously is because this is letting us know that there is an asymmetric risk right now for the total crypto market cap, again, excluding stablecoins. Notice even how this one back over here in April was a great signal to let us know, eek, watch out, because we saw a massive pullback here that bottomed out on August, I believe, 5th when the Nikkei crashed. So even though this was not the top signal, it was clearly a top signal. Now we have 3 of these, the third one in progress. And yes, the same thing is printing here for the total crypto market cap. Now, trust me, I understand that a lot of you are probably a little bit frustrated and you don't really want to believe what I have to say. And honestly, that's okay. I mean, it's up to you to believe what you want to believe. It's all right. I am literally just sharing the charts with you and my reasoning. And yes, the same thing is here on the total chart, which does exclude stablecoins. So we see the same symbols in the same spot. Notice, by the way, how we get a great bullish reversal signal back over here when the total market cap was under $1 billion, even though it had a pullback because of the FTX collapse. Incredible entry, right? But it's not just TBT bearish divergence. It's also RSI. One thing that's really striking about weekly RSI, at least in my opinion, is how similar it is right now to how things looked back over here. We saw a preemptive high at 97.59 for RSI, and I'm going to go ahead and just draw a really quick trend line here. So you can see we got these highs. So 97, and then we have 94, close enough, right? So we can see that when we had our top in November, we saw weekly RSI get all the way up here, but it respected resistance and it fell down. That was it. This is the one chance that it had, and it failed. Testing resistance and it falls down. Same thing happens back over here, by the way, too. And we did have a mid-cycle high in May 2019, by the way. But we can see a similar story here where we see our highs are just peaking out, and then it's done. The main reason why I'm making this video is because the last thing I want is for a lot of us, including myself, to be waiting for the market cap to drop 60% until we finally go, crap, okay, I was too late. And at the same time, I'm also not trying to freak out the entire market at all to say now's the time to sell. Again, I still think that Bitcoin will lead the market, that we will go higher. But there are very clear signs with RSI, in my opinion, that are leading to this culminating moment where we'll see a final blow off top. And that's that. And it's not just RSI either. If we look at volume, and I love this indicator, this is our free TBT base to quote currency converter. One thing that's great about this is that it just automatically converts the quote currency, the base currency into the quote currency. That's in the name. So instead of me knowing how many Bitcoin are being bought and sold when Bitcoin was at a juicy $20,000 in 2022, we now know how much is being bought and sold in Tether, which is really important. Now, I understand that with the total crypto market cap, we don't really have anything to convert. It's just showing us volume. I want you, though, to pay attention. The last several times that we've seen the weekly volume shoot above, we'll say roughly 816 billion, but it says trillion. Don't worry about the value. Excuse me. It's just the amount and how things are growing right now. Yes, volume is extremely bullish, but I have to admit that the last couple of times that we've peaked out here with volume, even back over here, January 2025, here in July, there's a little bit of a peak. If we go over here to March, there was a peak. So I'm getting suspicious as I'm watching this climb higher and higher, and also seeing a really big similarity in how this works. Seeing this huge spike over here in May, while the average is way down here. It's greater than 2 times the average. And then we have a dip, then it goes up again, and then it starts to lose. We're not seeing that. We see the dip, but we don't see it starting to lose yet. But I'm also looking at volume going, this doesn't look sustainable. If I look at BTC USDT, and this one's a little bit slanted because Binance changed how they report volume. That's another thing altogether. But weekly volume for Bitcoin has been significantly decreasing. Okay, what about for the index? Same story. If anything, decreasing volume on the index, which is aggregating volume from several exchanges, looks extremely similar to what we saw back over here in GASP 2021 that continued throughout 2021, and it just saw it go lower and lower and lower, even when we saw the price go higher and higher, another 100% after it recovered. It's not just RSI, it's not just volume, it's not just TBT divergence, it's even looking at the fact that we are basically at some very dangerous fib levels as well. Now, I want to be super duper clear again. This only gets confirmed in 2 days and 19 hours. There's a chance that the market could push up higher and this disappears. And you know what? It's a false flag and we keep going higher. Cool. But if this doesn't print this week and it prints next week, we're literally just kicking the can down the road. It doesn't really solve or fix the problem. While there might be a bullish rally that happens, and again, hear me loud and clear, I still expect BTC to push up higher. I still expect there to be a decent alt season for selective alts that happens, basically topping out in like mid-December. But then that's that, according to me. I could be so wrong. You know what? If I'm wrong and things go up higher, I'm going to be happy for everybody. I literally will. I'm satisfied with any amount of profit. I am not trying to freak anyone out. I'm not trying to steal anyone's joy right now by trying to share this bearish information. But you have to understand that this is a serious, serious warning. A lot of you are not going to want to hear this. And I want to be super transparent with you. Back in 2021, towards the top in November, I didn't want to hear stuff like this either. And I paid for it. I literally paid for it. Instead of scaling out BTC at 80K, because I thought it was going to go to 100K, because I was paying too much attention to a lot of those influencers that were calling for sky-high numbers that were totally unrealistic, I ended up selling a lot of BTC around 55K. Still did really well. And I bought a lot lower, but I could have taken way more profit on the way up. If you guys have been watching my videos, you know the cadence. You know the things I say over and over. Be satisfied with any amount of profit. Stick to your trading plan. Take profit on the way up. No one ever went broke taking a profit. So if I'm wrong and things go up higher and you're just taking little bits of profit, cool. Maybe you don't have 100% of your position in, but you've secured profit and that way you've de-risked yourself. So that way you're not feeling super anxious as prices are just starting to pump and you know that you've taken profit. So you can just sit back and just watch the charts rise. So if I'm wrong and things go up higher and we don't have a 4-year cycle anymore and it's completely broken, Arthur Hayes is right. We don't have a 70% drawback or drawdown. That's great. I mean, everyone's going to be a lot happier and I'll be wrong and I'll own it. It's fine. But if I'm right, and we are near the top, are you going to at least consider reassessing your portfolio to go, I think I need to do this here. I think I should try this here. I think I need to tighten some things up here. My videos have been literally the same for the last month or so. And I'm not a perma bear. Again, moon in papa, guys. I know sometimes I sound like doom in papa. But understand that I literally am trying to help you guys protect your portfolio at all costs. That is one of the rules in the Better Traders Journal, okay? Again, if I'm wrong, prices go up, everyone's happy, right? But if I'm right, and we do top out in November, and alts do have that rally, and things start to fall, and we see Bitcoin fall down to like 35, 30K by the end of next year, that'll hurt a lot. It'll hurt a lot of the market. I'll be helping you guys all the way down if that happens, which I fully expect it to. And there's still going to be some amazing trade setups. There are going to still be some incredible ways that we can trade on the way down. But if you're not taking profit on the way up, you're not a trader anymore. You're a bag holder. So understand, I am not against you. I'm for you. I've been doing this since late 2017. I've seen my fair share of bull markets and bear markets and everything in between. I really just want to help you guys make some money. So if you disagree with me, no hard feelings. It's totally fine. If you want to flame me in the comments, that's what it's for. Go ahead. If you want to downvote the video into oblivion, that's fine. But at least hear me and entertain me, even if you 100% disagree with me. Because if you can entertain ideas or theories from people that you don't disagree with, at least it shakes you out of your bias that maybe you've been receiving a lot of from other people online or your friends or even your own thoughts. You feel like, no, everything's going to $1 million. Nothing, it doesn't really hurt you to hear counter arguments. It doesn't. So again, I'm really looking forward to reading all these comments. And until next time, you know what to do. Stay awesome and stay in the green. Peace.